How are you doing, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is a little bit of a Freaky Friday scenario here. I haven't made a mistake with the overlay. We have Snow, who is obviously a very well-known Protoss player, one of the best Protoss players in the world, playing as Zerg, and he is playing against Airfu, who is spawned here in the top left of Radeon, and Snow has spawned in the top right. We've done a few Airfu games recently. He played against Lava, he played against Effort. Really cool player, up and running. Plays a really nice style. He took a game off of Soma, that's on the channel. So definitely on the cusp of breaking through and potentially becoming a ASL level player. And yeah, I don't think there's too much to be said about Snow. He does play on this ladder account, you know, in a relatively trolly way. It's got like a T in the middle of it, but it's a barcode account, and I've seen some pretty fun games of his on the ladder, so he is mixing it up. We have done a game of his where he's played Terran, and here we get a game of his where he is playing Zerg. I actually also have a game queued up where Bisu is off racing against Lava. Lava's also off racing, so some off-racing pro games coming up. Please let me know in the comments if you do like these off-racing pro games and if you think they're quite fun. I think it's kind of cool to see what the pros do when playing the other races. Alright, so we're doing a Forge. Looks like a 13 Nexus. So based on the scouting information, this is potentially a little bit risky, although Snow has thrown down his hatch at the natural third base location and not the natural base itself. I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference, but I think because the scouting probe hasn't seen this as of yet and also has counted 4 lings, decides to throw down a safety cannon, which is all very standard stuff so far. So what does one of the best Protoss players in the world do when playing against or playing as Zerg? I think first comment I'll probably make is that it's good to see Snow playing as Zerg, considering many say that PvZ is his worst match, and I think he himself will probably agree that PvZ is his worst match. So if getting better at this match is playing the race, then by all means, it's definitely worth getting the practice in. So third hatch goes down, gas is on the way. It looks, if I had to guess, it was going to be a Hydra build. That would be my instinct, but we will wait and see. Airfu doing a very good job in keeping his scouting probe alive, although I think he might just get cut off here. No, almost. No lair as of yet, so I think if you're going to go lair as Zerg, this is pretty much the timing that we need to have happened. Ah, he's snuck the lair in over here. Okay, that's very sneaky. So showing some pretty advanced deception skills there is Snow as today's Zerg. If we're sending out a Zealot just to maybe be hidden away on the map, I'm not too sure what the reasoning is to send it here to this third base location, other than maybe just to be out of sight of the Overlord. They are going to cross paths here, this Ling and the Zealot. I don't know if Snow, I think he did see it. And Bob the Zealot is moving in, and he is also moving out. Alright, so our lair is almost done. I expect we're then just going to see a Spire. So how good is our micro here? Let's see. So with perfect micro, 1 Zealot should beat 4 Lings. Oh, very close. Very close. Good from both players. So it doesn't have a Zealot blocking up the wall. It's sending another Zealot here just to do some harassment. I think the idea here is just to block the Zerg from making non-stop drones, forcing out some units. He will now also confirm the lair, which will be really cool, because now he's not going to need to make cannons. He's going to know that this is a Spire opening in all likelihood, and there does come the Spire. So then the Stargate will come out. He'll make a certain number of Corsairs, and then probably transition into the standard Templar tech tree from there. Yeah, man. So these off-racing games, it's fun. The ladder's always got something cool and interesting to offer, that is for sure. Citadel on the way. Second gas up and running. I've recently started playing the game a little bit again myself, trying to learn some builds, just to follow some very basic builds that always integrate the Corsair and the scouting and the stuff from a Protoss point of view. And there's always some subtle things that I get a little bit confused about, like when do I take my second gas? You know, do I rush to get my Templar archives and storm, or do I make myself a few zealots or a couple of additional gateways? It's always these decision-making processes, oopsie, sorry about that, drunk mouse, that make me scratch my head a little. There is a 6-minute Templar archive, so you get legs before storm, you make non-stop, or at least a couple of Corsairs. I think when you scout lair, making more than one Corsair is almost compulsory, I think. Maybe having a cannon or two to protect your mineral lines is also kind of important as Protoss, because your loss condition is Zerg just makes a heap of meters and you die, right? So, you know, preempt that. And when the Hydras start to come out, make your Dragoons, get your Robo, go up to 8 gateways, get your upgrades of your ground weapons going, get your Storm out, you know, respond. But I think use your Corsairs while you have them, because they can certainly become pretty useful. And he has carried on, so I think he's going to make 5. And I think this is a good... When you scout Spire, this is a good build. When you scout Hydra, you stop pretty much at 1 Corsair and you go straight into Zealot, High Templar, eventually into Dragoon, and Observers when Zerg makes Lurkers. So he's going to show us some of his Muta Micro. So as mentioned, a couple of defensive cannons in the mineral line are always important. He's getting some good damage here. And interestingly enough, Airfu has only got he's got the 5 Corsairs and hasn't really reacted particularly well to this. Doesn't seem to want to engage with the Mutas for some reason. I didn't see him get +1A. I don't actually think he did. No, he didn't. Is he waiting for another Corsair? What is the... Why? No! His Corsair's kind of split up there. That was sad. Now he's getting +1 air weapons. Oh, some vicious Scourge connections. Oh, Zerg is doing so much damage here just with the delayed mining. A couple of Templars on the way. Snow's pivoting into Hydras behind this. I don't know why Airfu doesn't want to attack here, and now this Archon's going to die before it warps in potentially. Oh, another connection on the Scourge. Archon dies before fully warping. I think this shows... Okay, so to me, he added no more Corsairs there. I don't know why he just didn't sort of take that fight right away. But the lesson to Protoss players watching there, in my opinion, is if you're scouting lair, make more than 1 cannon in your main to protect your mineral line, and get your Corsairs to engage straight away and try and micro them so that the cannons take out the Scourge. And you should, especially if you get +1 attack immediately, be able to hold that off. It's a little bit of a catch-all build. You know, here's making a couple extra pylons, another cannon, so it is a bit catch-all-ish in nature. So if your opponent doesn't go a lot of mutas, you know, it can be quite wasteful. But this follow-up now from Snow is looking really quite scary. Only offer 32 drones, 3 bases, so it is aggressive. Airfu now making lots of cannons. Does have some, I'm going to assume, +1 zealots, yeah. That upgrade will be denied. Forge is being remade in the main base. Or was it over here? It's being remade over here. Going to disrupt the pathing here later on. Having this cannon here is also going to be a pain, I think, for pathing. So he's got the pylon, so none of these have got any danger of being unpowered. But I think Snow's got really excellent map control now. Doesn't really need to worry about anything. He's getting Lurker. Airfu's response to this is to go up in gateways, go up to around 7 in total, getting range. I'm pretty sure we'll see a robotics facility quite soon as well to counteract the lurkers with observers and ranged dragoons. First storm of the game goes off. Nicely dodged there by Snow. Lurkers being made. You just wonder about someone who plays as a main race, if they struggle to adjust to the mechanics. So the mechanics of Zerg are particularly tricky, but Snow seems to be raising his game. He's playing at about 230 APM as a Zerg. And as Protoss, he doesn't play much faster. Like, I do see him fluctuate between, say, 240 and 280. So that doesn't seem to impact his APM much off racing. I think the mechanical dynamics of Terran and Protoss are very similar, but the mechanical dynamics of Zerg are just fundamentally different. Still has a few lurkers, just predominantly scouting. Airfu is behind in supply. If you're a Protoss fan, you are very, very worried. And also if you're Airfu and you've played against an off-racing Snow, and he's, you know, giving you a solid hiding. Although, you know, one single game of Starcraft doesn't say a whole bunch. I mean, the amount of damage that Snow did with the mutas in terms of delaying mining and stuff, that probably in of itself is just the difference maker at this level. Something that, you know, it appears minute, but it's massive in the grand scheme of things. Make a huge difference. Okay, so clearing a path for what presumably are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gateways. So he's kind of going all in on 10 gates. Where's this? Oh my god, this lurker can see this pylon. That is hilarious. I was wondering what that noise was. Yeah, I don't like that pylon there. Actually, it does seem to smooth out the pathing a little bit. He's gonna have to move out here, and I mean, how do you break this? This is just like snow prison, snow Zerg. There's a head down supply for us, finally. Decent couple of storms. Trying to target fire down these Templar. Reinforcing streams of Hydras coming in here. There's only a handful of Dragoons. Not everybody's involved in the fight. A little bit of a delay here bringing the remaining units up. Time of Observer dying, but there are a few more here. Supplies dead even. Snow though has got so many bases behind this that even if Protoss breaks out, I just think he can continue to reinforce. You can just see the streams of red rolling by. Another decent storm there. So 104 plays 108. I think Airfu's going to try and use this as an opportunity to clear this area and expand. I think Snow is going to use this opportunity to regroup some units and just get a few more macro hatches up to power up. Scourge just scouting what's happening. Immediately once Airfu clears out there, it does expand. You'd expect though this expansion would slow him down, and here we go. The nice juicy storm here on these clustered hydras would be good. There is a Templar here with energy. No, he's got no energy. But he might have energy. You don't know. Oh, this is a scary, scary gathering of Zerg. See a lot more here. He just pulls it all together and targets this down. I think it's going to be game over. So I'm going to just rotate the armies across as we see. Airfu does have the observer here, so sees where Snow's army is. Still a random Corsair lurking about. Okay, so it looks like Airfu is now the one who wants to move out. I think if Snow sends all of his units at once, he just literally has to A-move, maybe dodge one or two storms. Well, that was a good one. A couple of Lings getting into the picture as well. Pretty good to counter this somewhat Dragoon-heavy composition from Protoss. Snow again being nice and patient in his build here. I think Airfu's going to have a terribly tough time taking a fourth base. Snow basically has the entire rest of the map, and he can see that there ain't no way he's going to be able to break through. That game was over quite a long time ago. Very convincing win from Snow. Actually kind of fun to watch him play as Zerg. If you stayed with me to the end, I really much appreciate it. Please do let me know if you do enjoy these off-racing games where the pros are switching races and seeing how they operate. Because watching Snow play as Zerg, I think was really quite fun. I have a game of Bisu's where I think he plays Terran against Lava, who plays Protoss. And that'll be up on the channel pretty soon. So yeah, we got a few mixed games coming. If this is fun and you want to see more of them, then let me know. Anyway, until next time, you take it easy. I'll see you soon.